And back we go to the 10th. First time that Jeeno Thitikul has played in the U.S. this year. Already has a win on the Ladies European Tour.
Even that landing right on the very front edge of the green still releases a good 30 paces.
Just the last 15 minutes or so, it has steadily increased to just about a club wind, and that's why it was so difficult for them to get their tee shots to stop and check. A combination of the firming greens and this breeze that is picking up. It's just adding an element to judging your shots that was not, you didn't have to think about this morning when it was dead calm. And Jeeno would have learned a little bit about the pace and the break of this putt after watching Nellie's chip. Putting slightly uphill into the wind.
Off the fairway on the left side, ends up dead center, Kay.
I think the players, certainly during their practice rounds in the Pro-Am, just got really convinced of the correct lines. You have to pick a tree or pick a mountain peak in the distance. This one's starting more at the corner, a little more centered than Nellie's did.
And up there, yeah, right side. There's not, as you can tell, not much rough to speak of, but that's going to find its way all the way into the desert. It looks like behind a tree. Not sure what she's going to.
What a year it has been for Rio. All right. Not so much rough to worry about here, but you do have some desert areas, and that's where we find Jeeno Thitikul at the 11th.
And she's in a bit of a bother here. There's a mesquite tree that's in her exact line between her ball and the hole. She looks like she's going to go to the right of it, and there's a bit of scrubby brush she has to avoid as well. And just really didn't cut that heavy, and it's curling down to the right. Luckily, it stayed in the rough and didn't go back into the desert.
I'm impressed with your tree knowledge there, Kay.
Well, I did live in Arizona in the Scottsdale area for 6 years back when I first turned pro.
The third for Jeeno.
Fortunate, as I mentioned, to end up in the rough and not have to deal with another shot out of the desert. You really do want to minimize those shots out of the desert. A little bit of an uphill lie, wind helping. She tried to hit that as high as she could. It just was never going to get much spin on it, but it was great for the line.
Just the mistake there off the tee, compounding it just ever so slightly with that second aggressive play.
And the par putt for Jeeno Thitikul at the 11th.
Morgan, I mean, being that this is the first day of competition, you have all the notes in your yardage book about your intended target lines, but this course looks pretty wide open, but as it firms up and this wind picks up, it's just very hard to control the ball once it hits the ground.
Yeah, there's no question the afternoon tee times today are going to be the more difficult to score. Jeeno started her day off hot with 2 straight birdies and then all pars to here. She now would like to keep that streak going.
Wow, she'll take that one.
She is on some kind of roll, and even the offseason.
Jeeno Thitikul play. I mean, it just seems like she's in contention virtually every week. She tees it up, and she has such a nice, simple, powerful game and a great attitude to go along.
How about all 3 of these? You've got a front row seat. This is going to be fun today.
Straight in. I think so. I'll just double check.
Yep, good swing there.
Hair off the left, if anything.
I mean, this hole is playing closer to a par 4. It's definitely your miss, as we've seen. Don't want to miss right.
Now, all three of these players hit beautiful drives, just 2 paces from each other. Jeeno also with hybrid.
Yeah, she's set up quite a bit left here. Maybe trying to get the ball moving to the
Ooh,
right.
Yeah, that went quite a bit from left to right.
Oh, goodness.
Careful.
There is a little bit of a bunker there that could potentially hold it up. It looked like it took a pretty big bounce.
So she missed right. Well, they say it's a game of inches. Jeeno just stays up, her third at 12.
Yeah, almost pin high right. Good clean lie. Oh, and how about turning potential disaster into what looks like going to be a birdie?
That was so uncomfortable.
Did Jeeno make this putt? It's going to be 3 very different birdies.
For sure.
Just shows there's many different styles in how you take advantage of a hole.
Funny game, isn't it, Kay?
If you really try to make sense of it, you'll drive yourself crazy.
And should this go in, you're going to have Jeeno feels like she got away with something. Nelly with a confidence-building 10-footer for birdie. And Patty feeling like she let one go, missing that putt there.
And all 3 walk away with 4.
Few tough holes here in a row, 13, 14, and 15.
Let's watch the tee shot of Jeeno on the 13th.
There's a grouping of trees on the right. 265 to carry them. This has quite a bit of draw. Going to end up way left.
A bit of a double cross, or a 2-way miss she's got going right now, Kay.
Yeah, that doesn't instill a lot of confidence, does it?
The wind, how softly the ball lands versus some of those shots we saw like on the 10th hole earlier. Just release forever.
All right, how about the predicament that Jeeno's in here, Kay?
Well, it looks like she's pulled out a 6-iron. She's got to negotiate around a tree that looks like she's going to hit a punch shot of sorts.
Looks like she's punching it towards the trouble.
Yeah, with a little cut. And how about this? Getting it to release right up in front of the green. That was excellent.
I think she kind of stuck in neutral here on a day in which 9 under par leads the way. Jeeno has been all over Whirlwind Golf Club. Here's her third at 13.
Whole lot of scrambling. 6 paces to the front of the green, another 23. That's where the hole's located, and she just carried that too far with too much momentum. Morgan?
Gonna have her work cut out for her to save another par here like she did on 11 after a wait.
Yeah, and Morgan, sometimes you just have to have that mode. And I mean, Jeeno to me is the consummate professional. She just seems to let whatever comes her way, good or bad, just roll off her back and just deal with the shot that's right in front of her.
Yeah, it just takes a lot of focus, and you feel like you're working really hard, especially where she doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't seem, I should say, that she feels comfortable over the ball with a bit of a 2-way miss, but putting can cure a lot of those issues.
Just like that?
It doesn't last forever. It's hard to maintain in the long term, but it could get her through this round.
Nelly was languishing there right around par, and she's moved it to -3, as has Jeeno Thitikul with a little bit of drama.
Yeah, she's probably going to crave a little more consistency tomorrow. But to me, seeing her score and make these grinding putts shows what kind of fight she has. And that's something you really can't teach anybody.
The opposite of what Angel Yen has done. All right, back in the fairway by an inch or two, Jeeno Thitikul.
Maybe 5.
You said they've been patiently waiting back here, and that's difficult for this group to do because these are three very quick players, and the pace of play has been decent today. But this shot has just become a little tougher as the wind's picked up. It's back up, I'd say, about a club and a half right now, hurting. Jeeno going with an 8-iron. She's pulled it, may not be enough to cover.
Not the best angle from over there where that tee shot ended up.
She's been living dangerously. Could you tell, Kay?
I couldn't. No, there's a little bit
way here.
Okay, Jeeno. This tells us that she was in the water, I suppose.
Yeah, her ball hit just up on the edge of the green on the fringe and went down into the water. It's very steep. And so anything that hits off the green here just is going to end up in the water.
Where she makes her home. Major champion. This is world number 2, Jeeno Thitikul, who's been all over Whirlwind Golf Club the last hour or so, and finally having to pay for a mistake, Kay, this for bogey.
Has grinded successfully over some par putts, this for bogey. And she continues to dig deep. She doesn't have her best stuff today, very inconsistent, but she's scoring.
Her best stuff is as good as it gets.
Jeeno's ball, or excuse me, Patty's ball is right now.
Well, Jeeno Thitikul finally dropped a shot, but worked really hard to drop only one, so she's back at 2 under here.
Yeah, that was, if, you know, we all know there's excellent bogeys, and that was one. Also a 9-iron. See if she can straighten out a shot. She has missed far to the left and the right, as Morgan said, a little bit of two-way miss. I'm not going to be pleased with that effort.
Players raving about the greens here at the Cattail course. Just nearly perfect. And Jeeno has a longer one than she might have hoped for at 15.
Yeah, just pulling that 9-iron has left her some 35 feet. Overall, fairly level. Maybe just a little bit of left to right movement on the putt. Good looking speed.
She's only had 20 putts. It carried there, Kay. She didn't look like she loved it based on that finish.
Now Jeeno.
Not going the conservative route. Going with driver, see how close she can get it down there to the green. And she just reared back and hit that one as hard as she could. A couple different philosophies on how to play this hole, Morgan.
For players not that been that solid with her ball striking today, that was an aggressive play. Not a lot of room for error there.
Wow.
She may get unlucky here. Could be on the downslope in that bunker. They are relatively flat, the bunkers around this green. Between the 12th, both just about the same, more like a par 4 than a par 5.
Just a huge tee shot from Jeeno Thitikul, dribbled into the bunker. Here's her second of the par 4.
A little bit of a downhill lie, but ball in the her ball track. So trying to kind of hit it heavy out, sort of a heavy trundle shot.
Best swing that we've seen her make all day off that tee, and it's going to pay off. Aggressive risk, reap the rewards.
That'll be to get to 3 under par. It's time now for our Ford Championship Spotlight.
Let's see if Jeeno can put another great swing on it like she did on the 16th tee. That swing was total commitment and confidence. And when you've been hitting it a little bit of both ways, sometimes you just have to say, come on, just swing through it, relax, and stay aggressive. Don't try to guide it.
And that last swing should give her some confidence, Kay.
Absolutely. Good swing with great balance.
Yeah, good tempo here. Control is perfect.
And that is ideal.
That's the sign of a player who really knows their game well, able to make adjustments in the middle of the rounds.
That'll be an eagle putt for Nelly as she has turned it on here on the back, and Jeeno Thitikul getting ready.
5 paces ahead of Nelly and a little more to the right side of the fairway. Jeeno going with the 4-iron. Pushed it a little, wind moving it even further to the right. And it's going to end up in the front right bunker.
It's not a bad leave, especially close to that front lay up off the tee. Makes for a completely different hole.
Jeeno Thitikul has this for a birdie at the 17th.
She had some really good bunker shots today, but the one that she just hit a few moments ago, not great, but I think that's because it was sitting down just a little bit, and she couldn't put a lot of spin on the shot, so it released out to this point. 20 feet or so for birdie. This for back-to-back birdies.
She had a string of 9 straight top 10s end in her last event at Blue Bay in China. Tied for 12th.
Be a tough angle from the right side over there, too.
Jeeno now.
Yeah, she's really looking to take it over the right edge of the left fairway bunker.
It was an interesting move, Kay. She was just making there that practice swing, trying to come down flatter.
Well, that's going to find the middle of the fairway. There's a little bunker on the right-hand side that you have to avoid as well.
She's really been able to straighten that out. Wanted it to spin a little bit to the right, closer to the hole. Didn't quite hold off the face enough through the shot there.
And it's kind of hard to do, Morgan. Right now that wind it's helping and a little right to left, and they're coming off of a slightly uphill lie.
The uphill lie, especially the more loft a club has, will affect it. A tendency to go to the left.
That was a better line.
When I saw that name on the field list, I said, who is this?
Scouring, and we a bit confused. Here's Jeeno. There are those days, Morgan, where you say, well, I really left a lot out there. Charlie even said, I think I left 3 or 4 shots. I don't think Jeeno's going to say that today, will she?
I was just impressed with the way that she straightened it out, Kay, in the middle of the round for such a strong finish.
Yep, and I think that's a tribute to her mental approach to the game and her self-knowledge of her swing and ability to deal with what she has to get the ball in the hole. Pretty impressive 4 under. Weather here, that's always seems to be the topic. You're from Thailand, you've played over in Asia where it was hot and humid. Now it's hot and dry. What kind of changes does that make to your body and as you prepare to compete?
I don't think it's changing to my body much, but I think to the yardages is kind of changed because like it's gonna fly more because it's dry and then feel like hit farther, but not really.
It really seemed like you got the most out of your game today. There was a stretch where you were struggling, making some long par putts. You even had to make a pretty lengthy bogey putt. What kind of things do you say to yourself to stay focused and get that ball in the hole even when you're not maybe hitting it perfectly?
Just maybe really patient and then just trying to like shot by shot. I know I have some kind of like a long stress on the back 9, but still get it done with under par on the back 9. So it's just like be patient and just focus on the next shot, not the past.
I would describe you as someone who fights very hard for their game and for every shot. Would you say that's true?
I think so. Feels like not really like aggressively fight, but like still fight it for like till the end.
Well, you did it, and great job of 68 today. Congratulations, guys.
All right, Kay and Jeeno, officially her rookie season. Already her 2nd win, and there's Jeeno. who has a win on the Ladies European Tour this year already, and a good start. She wasn't necessarily playing her best today. 68 for Jeeno.